Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Rick here, and on this week's video, we're going to be installing the Mopeka Pro Check propane sensors on our Airstream. So stay tuned. All right guys, so one of the first things we've got to do to install the Mopeka Pro Check propane sensors is, of course, we've got to go ahead and get our propane tanks out of their carrier here. But this is a pretty straightforward, simple installation. I bought two of these sensors from Amazon. I think they were $55 a piece. By the time you pay for shipping and everything, you know, a little over 100 bucks or so. But definitely think it'll be well worth it. Give you a bit of peace of mind, making sure that you don't run out of propane. So let's go ahead and get after it and follow along, and I'll show you how to do this and kind of give you my thoughts at the end. So pretty straightforward process here. Just go ahead and take the covers off. Got to make sure you turn off the propane. Remove this security bar. Get everything unattached. I'm already going to go ahead and just take off this one bottle. Initially, we'll go ahead and get this one installed, and then we'll come back and get this second bottle. Okay guys, so we got the propane tank moved over here, and we're going to go ahead and get the sensors installed. Relatively easy process, and I'll talk you through each one of those steps. This is a pretty straightforward process. We've got our two sensors here. You'll need one for each one of your propane tanks. Each one of these can work on a 20-pound propane tank, 30-pound, and even 40-pound propane tanks. It's a very simple process of installing these. Once you open them up, of course, you can remove the instructions, set that aside for now. You'll get a few other components, and then the packaging, we'll just go ahead and set that off to the side as well. So inside of the package, you have basically the sensor, the mounting grease, as well as 3 spacers that will be used if you need additional space between the bottom of the sensor and your propane tank. So as you can see here, all you're going to do is you're going to use those spacers if needed. You're going to apply the grease onto this sensor, which is on the back side here, this little black dot. These 2 magnets here will then attach it to the bottom of your propane tank. And then once you do that, you'll download their app that you can get either on the Apple App Store or Google Store. Download that app. Then you'll turn it on. You'll hit the sync button. It'll find the sensor, and then it'll go ahead and calibrate, and then that's basically it. You just want to make sure that you have it in the right position, and you go ahead and have the sensor ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this first one installed. Okay, so as I mentioned, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this grease and we're going to put some of this on here, and it's a matter of just taking this sensor, tilting the tank back, and then attaching this sensor on the bottom of the tank right there in the middle with those magnets. So you see how the magnets just pulled it on there, and you want to get it as close to the center as you can, but don't worry about it too much, because when you calibrate it, it'll let you know if you're off center, and you'll be able to adjust this as needed. So basically that's simple. Now let's make sure that I've got enough clearance, which it looks like I do. So I should not need to use any of these spacers. Okay, so now that we've got the sensor installed on the bottom of the tank, we're going to open up the app here. And what I need to do, let me go ahead and set this down, tilt this tank back up for a moment. I need to go ahead and hit the sync button. And it says new LPG device found. Go ahead and pick that. And it should ask, so it's telling me the battery is good, quality is good, Bluetooth is good. I'm 100% full. This was a full tank that I had filled up, had not used it yet. Gives me temperature, sensor types, sensor position. So I need to maybe move it just a little bit. I'll do that here in just a moment. As you can see, I'm not too far off. Oh, and go back to that. Go up here to the cog wheel. So what I do want to do is I want to change that to a 30-pound tank and make sure that it is reading propane. and then I can set an alarm, so it'll give me a notification whenever I'm at about 20% on this tank. And that should be about it. Pretty simple. So now you can see it changed it from a 20-pound tank to a 30-pound tank, and still reading 100%. And the only thing I'm going to do is just adjust that sensor just slightly, and then we'll go ahead and get the other one installed, and we'll call it all good. All right, guys, so we went ahead and got the second tank. We're going to go ahead and get it installed as well. Got the first one already done and put back over there on the front of the trailer. So a few more minutes and we'll be complete with this task, and I'll kind of give you my final thoughts. So now with the second sensor installed, we'll go ahead and open up the app. As you can see, I've got two sensors on the app now. Hopefully you can see that well. I know this is the newest one because it's showing it as a 20-pound tank. So I'm going to go ahead in there and make the same changes that I did before, and I'll also check the sensor position, which that one looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and zero that, hit OK. So now it knows it's on a level surface, and that it knows that it's pretty well centered on the bottom of the tank. Come up here, change it to a 30-pound tank. I'm going to leave all of the same alarms and notifications the same. And this tank, as you can see, only has 71% propane in it. So I know this is the tank that I've been using over the last couple of weeks. Okay, guys, so we got the second sensor installed on the other tank, and just as easy as the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted back on the front of the Airstream. But by far one of the easiest modifications I've made to the Airstream that I can remember. The Bluetooth app seems to be working really well. I'll let you know in the future if I have any issues with it. I don't suspect I will. So far, very pleased with it. And now I don't have to worry about running out of propane on some cold winter night. But guys, I think that's going to do it for today's video. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Also, if you give us a big thumbs up if you like this content. If you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comments section below. And if we don't hear from you, hopefully we'll see you down the road.